Okay, good morning everyone. Hope everyone is fine. And why attendance is so low today? I think in last class we have seen around 140 members, but still it is showing around 90 members. Hello?
So,
Are you able to get my screen and get my voice?
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So where we left in the last session? Can anyone?
Cascade differential amplifier చెప్తానన్నారు సార్.
Yeah, tell me, Jyoti. What?
Cascade differential amplifier చెప్తానన్నారు
Yeah,
సార్.
we have to start cascade differential amplifier. So what is cascading? Cascading, I think all of you know. In order to increase the, if you want more gain, so we should connect parallelly to two voltages. So like the way here, differential amplifiers also can connected or can cascaded to get high gain. Just like if you see amplifiers. A PNP transistor can use as amplifier. So in order to have high gain, we are going to cascading the amplifiers. So if you take in power amplifiers, so to get more gain, we are going to cascading the amplifiers. Like the way in differential amplifiers also, you need to if you want to get more gain, so we are going to cascading the differential amplifiers. Before going to do that, in last session, so many members asking me about, sir, what is DC analysis of transistor and AC analysis of transistor, and what are the relation between voltages in transistor and currents. So I think you people are not up to the mark to learn this subject. So all these are basics in EDC and ECA subject. I think you have been completed 2 labs on this course on BZTs. You people should be aware of it. What is the complete analysis of single transistor? So if you are not able to understand what is working and what is the construction and how the working of transistor, so we should never able to understand what are the applications and how they are how they can be used in our life, real life. If you take PDC subject, hope you all of you completed PDC. Hello. Can anyone respond? Jyoti L. Setti?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What are the if you see what are the applications of diode? There we can find in PDC subject. What are the applications of diodes?
Diode is used as a switcher.
Yeah, and very good, Vansi. Another applications?
And it is used to
Diodes are used in rectifiers.
as a,
Yeah, what is the purpose of rectifier?
it is used to convert the AC to DC.
To
Very
convert
good,
AC
very
to
good. To
DC.
convert alternating current to direct current. So best examples are our mobile adapters. Most of the adapters need to convert analog. See if you see our home household purposes, what is the voltage? 240 volt, 240 AC. Hello.
Sir,
What is our house supply voltage?
40 volts by 50 hertz.
240 volts, and its frequency is 50 hertz. So frequency in the sense, obviously it is a alternating current. So while connecting this to our mobile phone, so what our adapter will do?
it converts the AC to DC.
Yeah. So the adapter should convert AC current into the DC current. So there we can use the rectifiers. So what are the building blocks of rectifiers? Diodes. So like the way, what are the other applications of transistors and how they will work? You should know. So transistor also will access the switch, and it is also used in so many most of the digital applications are digital logics. So apart from that, we are dealing only with analog analysis. So here we can find the transistor as amplifier, and transistor also used as for audio applications. If you see it, we for transistor we can use as power amplifiers. In power amplifiers also PNP transistor we can use. And what are the other applications of transistors? This is also used as tuned circuits. And oscillators also use it to generate transistor also use it to generate oscillations, oscillating frequency. So oscillating frequency is most important. You will get what is the importance of oscillating frequency while learning about MPNC subject. So every processor will works only based on oscillating frequency only. So that is the one more applications of transistors. Transistor also used as oscillating frequency. Oscillating frequency in the sense, I think everyone is having mobile phone. There we can fix. So what is the operating frequency of your mobile phone, or else what is the operating frequency of 4G and 3G? So based on the every processor will works a particular operating frequencies. That frequency is used to generate by oscillators only. If the processor is working based on more frequencies, then it can works very fastly. You can find features of your smartphone. We can compare with your old one and new one. So all features will updated. So operating frequency will generated by oscillators. And one more application is tuned amplifier. PNP transistor can use it as tuned amplifier. What is the real-time applications of tuned amplifier? Can anyone? Vamsi responded very well, and one more. I think someone also responded. What about remaining students? Is my voice clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that is fine. So can anyone, what is the real-time applications of tuned amplifiers? What is meant by tuning? So what is the working of tuned amplifier? In last semester only you learn about this one, tuned amplifiers in ECS subject. What is the basic difference between PNP transistor as amplifier and a PNP transistor as tuned amplifier? So what is my intention here to explain? First of all, I'm going to explain what are the real-time applications of transistors. Thereafter, how we can use as amplifier by using analysis, DC analysis and AC analysis for particular PNP transistor and PN transistor. There we can apply same analysis to our differential amplifier, where we are using two different amplifiers, two different transistors, which can produce the output is directly proportional to different of input signals what we are providing to it. So basic difference between amplifier and tuned amplifier is amplifier will amplifies the range of frequencies. So it can produce the maximum gain or maximum voltages in particular range of frequencies, just like F1 to FH minus FL. That could be the range.
Sir,
Tell me.
tuned amplifiers is used to give a resonance frequency.
Resonance in the sense?
Required frequency.
Like the frequency.
Hello?
Sir.
Tell me. Okay, that is fine. Tuned amplifiers mostly used in our televisions and radios. if you aware of how to work, how to operate radios. So if you are try to change that knob, so in particular, or else you can see FM radio in your mobile phone. So if you choose particular frequencies 103.5, there only we are getting signals. Otherwise, if you are changing any other voltages, what will happen? Entire noise will become. Why? Because at that voltage, the amplifier will not work, and there is no input. So one particular tuned amplifier will be used, which is used to produce high gain at a particular voltage only. Sorry, particular frequency only. That frequency is nothing but 183.5. For any other frequencies, it does not accept and it does not produces any output. Or else we can take what is the FM range. This is also will completed in your analog circuit. Sorry, analog communications. FM range is I think everyone using, most of the people aware of FM. That application also included in your mobile phone. Vamsi, tell me.
Sir, can you repeat the question?
What is the FM range, or what is the bandwidth of FM? We are having different FM stations, 93.5, 103.5, 88.5. So what is the maximum bandwidth of FM?
107 megahertz, sir.
I'm asking about bandwidth. Bandwidth in the sense that could be
22.
that should be having minimum frequencies and maximum frequency. Yeah, tell me, Sri Durga.
20 to 20,000.
No. 88 megahertz to 108 megahertz. So its bandwidth is 20 megahertz. 20
it's
megahertz in the sense 108.
88 to 108. Sir.
88 to 108. So 108 minus 88 in the sense its total bandwidth is 220 megahertz and range is from 88 megahertz to 108 megahertz. If you take any FM center, that center should be having particular frequency which is included in between 88 megahertz to 108 megahertz. So there every FM system is used to use tuned amplifiers at particular frequency only to produce maximum gain. If the FM station is 93.5 FM, so there he can use tuned amplifier which is used to produce maximum voltages at 93.5 frequencies only. For remaining frequencies, is obviously it can produce zero gain, in the sense it can produce zero output. So that is the another example, another real-time applications of our PNP transistor. Is that clear, all of you?
Yes, sir.
So if you want to use these particular transistors in proper way, so we should fix it. We should fix it in its particular reason only. That reason is nothing but I think everyone know a transistor will works in 3 regions. One is cutoff region, saturation region, and another one is active region. So everyone will know active region is nothing but entirely deals with analog circuits only, just like how we are using here. For amplification purpose only, we are using in active region. So if you want to go for digital applications, so in digital applications only, we should need every component will works as on or off. So on or off in the sense cutoff region, it will works as open circuit in the sense off. In saturation region, the diode or transistor will works as short circuit. Short circuit in the sense closed switch. Is everyone okay? So cutoff region also, while we are using transistor to operate in cutoff region and saturation region, so that nothing but digital applications. So if the transistor is works in amplifier, so that we should need fix another operating point. So here operating point plays very crucial role, where how any transistor can use it for particular applications. Okay. If it is in digital, a digital transistor needs to convert, needs to work from saturation region to cutoff region only. So there is no concept of amplification or active region. In active region, transistor will work as amplifier. So if you want to make a transistor as amplifier, so we should fix operating points should be in active region only. Operating point for a transistor, we can use DC load line or DC analysis. See, if you see DC analysis of a transistor, so this is the operating point. See here, we can find everyone getting my screen?
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
You can wait for 1 or 2 seconds. Then you will be able to get my screen. Now it is okay.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Are you able to get my screen now?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
See
Yes,
here.
sir.
See here, DC load line and operating point clearly mentioned there. So if you see this diagram, you can understand. See here, red color line is there. So which is used to always drawn between. If you see, if you make IC in the sense I suffix C, that is nothing but used to indicate the current flowing through collector terminal. Is that clear, all of you? IC
Yes,
is
sir.
nothing but current flowing through collector terminal. So if IC is 0, what is happening? So we are connecting VCC collector terminal to VCC. VCC is a DC voltage. So their DC voltage is obviously equal to junction voltage between. So clearly listen my words. Junction voltage between collector and emitter. So there will be two junctions. One is base to emitter junction and the emitter to collector junction. Is that clear, all of you? So if you want to make transistor works as off switch in the sense in cutoff region. So if transistor is off, what is happening? Collector current is obviously equals to 0. So if there is collector current 0, so there is no voltage drop across RC. RC in the sense what we are connecting resistor to the collector terminal. So if there is no current, obviously junction voltage is almost equal to whatever the DC voltage we are supplying. So VCC equals to VCE, collector to junction voltage. So that could be 1 point. If you maximize the collector current, that is nothing but IC equals to VCC by RC. Then what is happening? Junction voltage will become 0. Junction voltage will become 0. So there, if junction voltage is become 0, what is happening? IC will be maximum. So that is nothing but VCC by RC. That is indicating transistor is working as saturation region. But in active region, we make excuse me. See this circuit diagram. Hello. See the second circuit here. We can understand relation between IC and VCC. Hello.
Yes, sir.
See here. See here. If you want to make transistor in active region, we can make it. It should be independent of IC. Sorry, it should be independent of IE current or VCE base voltages. And see here, already I told you about the terminal voltages. So for if you see particular transistor, here in input side VB is there. So V suffix B is nothing but entire voltages across input side only. That is denoted by VB. If you come for emitter part, emitter to ground VE voltages will be there. That is called terminal voltage. Emitter terminal voltage, that is denoted by VE. See here, collector to ground voltage, what are the total voltages presented from collector terminal to ground terminal? That is nothing but VC, collector terminal voltage. So if you can see the relation between, see here clearly we can say that junction voltages also there. So junction voltages simply nothing but if you see transistor, see here. So three terminal transistor, we are having two junctions. What are the junctions? Emitter to base junction VBE one junction and collector to base another junction, and again emitter to see here. So these are the junction voltages. VBE means base to emitter voltage, again VCE collector to emitter voltage, again VBC base to collector voltage. So there will be three junction voltages and three terminal voltages. Three terminal voltages are nothing but voltage at emitter terminal to ground, and voltage at collector terminal to ground, voltage at base terminal to ground. So if you see relation between terminal voltages and junction voltages for a particular transistor, so this will be like this. See in this diagram. So are you able to get my screen, students?
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. See here. Already I told you terminal voltages are nothing but VB, VC, VE. So if you see VC terminal is nothing but combinations of junction voltages VCG and terminal voltage VB. Terminal voltage VE. See here, VC. So from this question, what we can conclude that VC is nothing but VCG minus VE. VCE, junction voltage from collector to emitter terminal is always equals to terminal voltage VC minus terminal voltage VE. Like the way VBE is nothing but VE minus VB. Like the way VBC is nothing but VC minus VB. So this is the way how junction voltages and terminal voltages can be related in particular transistor. So if you can see current relations. Current relations is nothing but beta is called a common base current gain. Common emitter current gain. So in common emitter, what will be the input current? What will be the input current? Can anyone? In common emitter, what will be the input current? Hello, can anyone tell? if transistor using as in common emitter, so what will be the input current? Input current is nothing but base current IB. Output current is nothing but common emitter in the sense where we can collect output at the collector only. So collector current is nothing but IC. So this is the way how we are getting beta. Beta is nothing but common emitter current gain. So output current IC by input current IB. So this is the way how we are getting relation between IC and IB. So obviously IC and IB is nothing but collector current is always equals to beta times of IB current. See here, alpha is nothing but common base current gain. So we are not using this relation, alpha relation we are not using. So alpha is also one indicating another relation, that is nothing but IE into alpha times of IC. So these two relations are very, very important while analysis for DC analysis for a particular transistor, whether it is PNP or NPN transistor. So if you clear here, we can make it easily while using transistors in differential amplifiers. So I think most of the students are asking about this relations only. How beta and beta related. So how IC is IC equals to beta times of IB. And one more thing what we learn, and we know very well, emitter current is always equals to collector current plus base current. And we know that base current is always equals to IC by beta. So there we can, as IC equals to IB equals to very small, in most of the conditions we can take IG equals to almost equals to collector current. As base current is very less, we can take in some of the applications we can take emitter current is always equals to collector current. So this is the way emitter current, collector current and base current related to each other. So most of the circuit here we are using in common emitter configuration. So we need to remember this relation only. Beta is equals to IC by IB. So in common emitter combinations, collector will be the output terminal, base terminal will be the input terminal. From that we got this relation, beta equals to IC by IB, and voltage relations also as usual. See here, what is the okay. See here, in active region, this is the Q set point. Q set point is nothing but we are going to fix particular IC voltages and VCE voltage. So IC voltage should be independent of VCE terminal voltage. Sorry, VBE terminal voltage. Emitter, while IC current, collector current should independent of emitter voltage only. There we can fix one particular point. This is the in between, at the middle of load line we are having Q point. Q point is nothing but if you are trying to operate a transistor as active region. So if you are trying to operate a transistor in active region, we should fix DC. We should fix operating point at the middle of DC load line only. So by operating by making this operating point at the middle of DC load line, what is happening there? If any input given, that entire input is amplified faithfully. So there is no distortion in positive cycle or in negative cycle. If this operating point moves above the middle moves above the load line, what is happening? Positive cycle will get distorted. If you are making this Q set point towards the cutoff region, what is happening? In negative cycle, we are getting distortion, so that no perfect amplification can be done. So in order to have faithful amplification, whether the transistor is used as amplifier or oscillator or tuned amplifier, operating point always should be in the middle of DC load line only. So this can be calculated by using or by knowing the DC analysis of transistor. So that is the main agenda of DC analysis of transistor, to fix the operating point for the particular transistor. So in our differential amplifier, we are going to make similar operating point to the two different amplifiers. Then if you fix the same operating point to the two different amplifiers, then only it can amplify the difference in amplifier, difference in input voltage signal, and it can produce as the output voltage is always proportional to the difference in input voltages. That is the main applications of differential amplifier. That is the reason why you are learning about DC analysis of differential amplifier. And AC analysis is, as usual, how we should know the output characteristics and input characteristics. Input characteristics in the sense of how the input current and input voltage is related, and how the output current and input currents are related by applying different voltages at input terminals. Okay, here see active region, it is indicating so here this is also indicating output characteristics. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Are you clear?
Yes, sir.
See here, if you see AC analysis and DC analysis of differential amplifiers, again I'm repeating, I'm sum-upping. So here we are taking two Q1 and Q2 same points, same values of transistors. So transistor should having same values. Okay. So here emitter value, emitter resistance RE1 and RE2 is, and collector resistance are also equal. And obviously we know that VCC is always positive, VE is always negative, which is going to be connected at emitter terminal. So if you are applying see here, base to emitter loop of Q1, see this here, base to emitter, we can consider all voltages from here. We can consider base voltage and base to emitter junction voltage, and voltage across RE and the voltage across emitter terminal VE. And finally we can include this VEE also. So with respect to VEE is negative, so we can take as current entering into the current is leaving from the resistance, we need to take as negative symbol. While calculating, while learning about KVL, we are understood like we are taking that. That is the main reason, to avoid the polarity changes in current. So we can fix whether if the current is entering into the transistor, we can take it that voltage is negative, entering and leaving, or else we can, if we can take it positive, whatever it is, no problem. So for every resistance we should take same signs only. See here, if that current is leaving from this RS1, if you take it as negative voltage, so here current is, what is happening, entering into the resistor, and current is leaving from the RE1, so there also we can consider as negative potential. If you are taking positive potential here, so here also we need to take positive potential. See here how the loop equation can be done for base to emitter voltage. IB into RS. See here, what IB into RS in the sense IB current. So this arrow indicating IB current, that is starting from ground in the sense zero potential to it is going to VBE. So there we can represent it with help of negative symbol. So minus IB into RS minus VBE. VB is nothing but junction voltage minus IE RE. So here this 2 IE is coming from two emitters of Q1 and Q2. Two currents are will add and they will move to the ground. By using KCL, we can find IE plus IE is nothing but 2IE, which is entering into the RE resistor. So again, minus of minus VE equals to 0. Minus of minus will become 0. I think already all of you know VE is always negative, VCC is always positive. And one more relation is there already just now I discussed it. IC is equals to beta into IB. And IC is almost equal to IC. So we are replacing IB by IB by IE by beta. So after substituting this, we got a relation like this: IE into RS by beta minus VBE minus 2IE RE plus VE equals to 0. If you take already I clearly explained this one. So if you make common IE common, so what is the terminals? What are the terms we are having? RS by beta minus 2 RE plus VE minus VBE. See here, emitter resistance is always 2 RE is always greater than RS by beta. So we are neglecting, and VBE, and everyone is know that VBE, cut-in voltage of VBE of silicon is 0.7 volts and for germanium is 0.2 volts. So finally, which is finally IE equals to VEE minus VBE by RE. And clearly here IE is nothing but it is purely independent of RC. So if you are changing the RC value, so there is no independent of IE value. So clearly we can say that IC is always fixed. If RC changed, IE changes. IE changes, obviously IC also changes. So if IE is independent of RC, so obviously IC is also independent of RC, as we can consider IC equals to always equals to IB. So this is the how to fix particular value for how to fix IC for transistor to activate in active region. So similarly, like the way we can find it, VCE is similar to the both transistors. So after fixing VCE and IC, we can moving to apply. We are going to give input to the particular transistor. Say after applying input to the transistor, we can make it AC analysis. If you take a single transistor, we can go with H parameters model. See here, H parameters model is used to find frequency analysis of transistor. This is the equivalent model. So are you getting the screen? H parameters model of BJT?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So here, so what are the H parameters are mainly, you can see. See here, H11 is nothing but open circuit input. It is always calculated by, sorry. See here, V1 is nothing but input voltage, just like VBE in our transistor. And if you take two-port network transistor is similar to the two-port network. So here H parameter concept is then entirely we can apply to the transistor. So for two-port network, we are having two different voltages. One is at input voltage and another one is output voltage. And we are also having two input two currents. What is One is input current and another one is output current. Just like input current is base current for a transistor, output current is collector current for a transistor. So IC is always equals to I2. If you applying this two-port network to the transistor, what is happening there is I2 is always equals to IC and I1 is always equals to IB. And VB is nothing but base voltage, VBE base voltage, and output voltage is nothing but V2 is nothing but VCE. So like the way H11 is nothing but short circuit input impedance. So that is equals to V1 by I1 at output voltage equals to 0. Again H21 is also equals to I2. This is current gain. See here I2 by I1. It is a simply ratio in the sense it is a current gain. So that current gain is we are getting while output is short circuited in the sense V2 equals to 0. So that is H21. So similar the way we can see another H parameter. H12 is nothing but I1 equals to 0. That is in the sense IB base current equals to 0. That is nothing but open circuit reverse voltage gain. So if IB equals to 0, what is happening? V1 by we are getting H12 equals to V1 by V2. So before going to that, we should know this relations between H para. See here V1. So this is the indication of H parameters for a particular transistor. This is for a two-port network. V1 is nothing but input voltage, which is related to H11 I1 plus H12 V2. Again, V2 is nothing but output voltage. Similarly, output current is represented in two terminals. One with help of two variables, that is H21 and input current I1 plus H22 into output voltage. From this equation, we are going to get these four values of H11, H12, H13 by taking particular conditions. So in this condition, how H12 will come? By taking input current equals to 0. So see here, in this equation, I1 equals to 0. Here I1 equals to 0. What is happening? H12 we are getting H12 is nothing but V1 by V2. So V1 by V2. V1 is input voltage, V2 is output voltage. But we are getting, if the gain, if you're talking about gain, so that is always should be output voltage by input voltage. But here input voltage by output voltage is there. So that is the reason H12 is also called reverse voltage gain. Similarly, by making I1 equals to 0, H21 is I1 in this second equation, I1 equals to 0, what is happening? H21 equals to I2 by V2. So I2 by V2 is nothing but it is a admittance. I think all of you know impedance is nothing but Z equals to always V by R. V equals to IR in the sense V equals to IZ in the sense Z equals to V by I. So here it is reversed. That is current by voltage is always indicated as admittance. So H12 is always called open circuit admittance as input current is 0. So these values for a transistor we can apply. See here, this is the input representation of transistor by applying H parameters. I1, H11. So this is output characteristics of two-port network. This is input and this is output. So same concept is also we are going to apply to the particular transistor. So this is the overall H parameter representation. So these H parameter representation only we are using for AC analysis. See here, RE dash is nothing but H12. See here, this is H22. H22 is a resistance which is equals to RE. RE for our differential amplifier. RE is here. So like the way H parameters are also directly can apply to the transistors to calculate AC analysis. So in AC analysis, what we learn, see here. Again, by applying KVL at the loop 1 and loop 2, we are getting input voltages this way. And base voltages already we know, and we have seen clearly relation between base voltage and emitter voltage is always equal. So base voltage is equals to IE by beta times, and IB2 equals to IE2 by beta times. So after replacing base value, so first two equations will be changed like this. And again, we need to consider RE is far greater than R base input resistance RS by, sorry, source resistance RS by beta. So by neglecting RS by beta 10, we are getting, so we are getting the equation modified like this. VN1 equals to IE1 by RE plus RE dash plus, so this RE dash is similar to the H parameter. This RE is nothing but what we are connecting a resistance at terminal. RE dash is always equals to admittance in H parameters that we need to identify. So finally, IE1 and we got IE1 and IE2 equations like this. So after calculating gain, already we have seen this one. So gain is V0 is equals to RC by admittance RE dash into Vin1. Vin is nothing but input voltage at first transistor minus V into input voltage at second transistor. So clearly from this equation 8, what we can say that output voltage is always proportional to the difference of input voltages. So here this RC by RE can taken as differential gain, which is represented by AD. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Please just wait a second. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
ఫోన్ కాల్ వచ్చిందిరా.
Okay, this is the way how we can done with AC analysis and DC analysis. So from this, AD is nothing but RC, terminal collector resistance by RE. RE is nothing but similar to the H parameters, output admittance, RE dash. So clearly we can say that output voltage is nothing but AD into input voltage. So AD is nothing but differential gain of differential amplifier. Gain of differential amplifier, and this is differential input, already we have discussed it, and output resistance is directly equals to RC, and the common mode rejection ratio. In common mode rejection ratio, we are going to apply same input voltage. Still there, if ideally output is 0, but practically output is not equals to 0. So for any common voltages, output is 0. So differential amplifier needs to reject that in common input voltages. So that ratio is nothing but common mode rejection ratio. So that is also equals to differential gain by, already we have seen common mode gain. Common mode gain is also represented by AC. Differential gain is also represented by AD. So CMMR is nothing but the ability of the transistor to reject the common mode input voltage. That is nothing but common mode rejection ratio, which is equals to AD by AC. And if you want to, as it is again, if you want to make represent in decibels, so we can take using with help of logarithm 20 log into AD by AC. So this is the new another concept. Actually, we have to study here. We have to discuss now cascading amplifiers. So already I told you. So if particular gain of single, so if you are using a single transistor or single stage amplifier, what is happening there? If that gain of particular single stage amplifier is not enough, so in order if you want more gain, or if you take in sound box amplifier sound, if there is any meeting conducted, so most of the amplifiers will be used. So there we can use it. Different amplifiers are connected to parallelly. Why? Because to increase the output voltage. So for that purpose, we are going to connect more and more amplifiers in particular parallel connection. So main mode of cascading amplifiers is to increase the gain of transistors. So here, similar the way to increase the gain of differential amplifier, we can also cascade the differential amplifiers. So simply output of one transistor is connected to the connected as input to the another transistor. So this is our differential amplifier. So here we can take output from output from two collector voltages. So this output is connected to input to the another differential amplifier. So which is shown here. We can observe it clearly. So this is the way how different differential amplifiers can cascaded with each other. We are taking two differential amplifiers. So V1 we are going to connect it as input of second differential amplifier. We can observe it clearly. Q2 output is connected as Q3 input, and Q1 output is connected as Q4 input. See clearly. Q2 output and that means the collector terminal of Q2 is connected to base terminal of Q3. Like the way collector terminal of Q1 is connected to base terminal of Q4. So why? Because cascading differential amplifiers is to increase the gain of amplifier only. That is also very useful in our ICs fabrications. So in IC fabrication, cascading of differential amplifiers also used to increase the output voltage or to increase the gain. So what is happening is, see here, already I told you for every differential amplifier we need to fix operating point. If the operating point changes towards the saturation region, what is happening? Distortion in positive cycle occur, and if the operating point is move towards the cutoff region, what is happening there? Distortion in negative cycle will occur. So similarly, like the way if if the transistors are cascaded, so there is a chance of disturbing in DC level of operating point. So in order to not to change the operating point of differential amplifiers while they're connecting in cascaded differential amplifier, we are going to use level translator. So what is the main purpose of level translator is while connecting while connecting differential transistors in cascade mode, so operating point of one transistor will changes to another operating point. So if there is any shift occurred in operating point, so we are going to use level translator to fix its original operating point. Then only we can get maximum amplifier. That is the main purpose of level translator. Alafi got it? See here, what is the purpose of level translator is, see here, cascaded differential amplifier while connecting one output of transistor differential amplifier to the input of another differential amplifier. What is happening is another second stage transistor operating point will get disturbed, or it can move towards the saturation region. So there we can use level translator to fix it back to its original operating point. That is the main purpose of level translator. So which one is used as level transistor is our emitter follower. So which amplifier is called as emitter follower? Can anyone? Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Can anyone speak out? Level follower, which configuration of transistor can be called as level emitter follower? I'm asking you, doubt,
Common
not
collector.
confirmation. Yeah, which one is called emitter follower?
Common collector
CC.
configurator.
Very good, very good. Common collector can be called as emitter follower. So here emitter follower we can use it as level translator. I think everyone got what is the main purpose of level translator. We have seen AC analysis of differential amplifier, how difference of two input terminals will get amplified, and it can output of differential amplifier is always equals to difference in input amplifiers. If that gain is not enough, we are going to use another differential amplifier to cascade with the first differential amplifier. So this is one differential amplifier with help of Q1 and Q2 transistors. Another differential amplifier with help of Q3 and Q4 transistor. So final output can be taken as Q4 transistor in this cascade mode. Is that clear, all of you?
Yes, sir.
So here again I am repeating, input of Q1 transistor is, sorry, output of Q1 transistor is connected to the Q4. Again output from Q2 is connected to the Q3. That means
Q3.
output of one differential amplifier connected to the input of another differential amplifier. As it is provides more voltages, what is happening for this Q3 and Q4 differential amplifier, its operating point will get disturbed. So if operating point get disturbed, what is happening there? If it is the operating point move towards the saturation region, positive cycle distortion will occur. If it is moving down to the cutoff region, what is happening? Negative cycle distortion will occur. So in order to not disturb the operating point of second transistor, we are going to use level translator to fix its transistor operating point as fixed at one point. So which type of component can be used as level translator is nothing but emitter follower. Emitter follower is nothing but common collector. Common collector in the sense, so collector is going to be connected as well as in input side and as well as in output segment. So this is the another way of how common collector transistor can be used as level translator in our differential amplifiers. Okay, with this first unit will be completed. So in the next unit, from tomorrow onwards, we can see. I think everyone got this PPT, unit 1 PPT. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So in the next session, we can start with unit 2. Did you submitted your, so these are the concepts we are going to deal in our unit 2, characteristics of op-amp. Op-amp in the sense, operational amplifier. So we can see how the operational amplifier can be built with help of this differential amplifier. So what are the other stages in building of operational amplifier? Operational amplifier is a IC integrated circuit, which is analog IC. So we can see how it can be fabricated, how it can work, and what are the different applications of amplifiers, op-amp amplifier. We can see in next class onwards. So meanwhile, I think everyone submitted your yesterday's work, Lika.
Yes, sir.
2 subjects, 2 questions I had given you. Hope everyone is completed. So from first unit, if you have any doubts, please don't hesitate to ask me. Is that clear, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you all. You can leave now. Had your great lunch. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all. Bye. Stay safe. Stay home. Don't forget this one.
Yes, sir.